Welcome to a program all about vets. And the gentleman to my right has never been on this show, but they do a lot of good things in the community, and we're going to tell you about it right after this commercial.
I volunteer.
Step up. I volunteer.
Cool.
I volunteer.
We volunteer.
And I volunteer.
Hi, I'm Sally Goins, the volunteer coordinator here at Columbus Animal Care and Control, and we would love to have you come and help make a difference. If you're interested in volunteering, please call me at 706-225-4666 or email me at animalcontrol@columbusga.org.
Welcome back to All About Vets. To my right, I have Mr. Haywood McBride. Mr. McBride does a good service for veterans throughout the community. And Mr. McBride, we're going to kick it off by having you look into that camera right there and tell everybody, give them about 10, 15 seconds about you as a person, how you got started with Favor, where Favor is located, brick and mortar location, and phone number right
Great.
there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us here. My name is Haywood McBride, and I'm the chairman of the board of directors for Favor of West Georgia. Favor stands for Friends and Veterans on the Rise. We are located at 4589 Old Casita Road in Columbus, Georgia, 31903. Our phone number is 706-689-1138. And thank you so much for having me here.
My pleasure. Now, I'm looking at the slides here, and Favor is composed of 43 disabled veterans, 5 non-disabled, and 3 spouses of deceased veterans. Just tell me, how did you all get started? How did you get involved?
This group was formed by me. I am the founder.
All righty.
Roughly 5 to 6 years ago, we formalized, and we saw the need that veterans and local agencies needed some assistance.
Right.
And again, to emphasize, we are made up of disabled veterans.
Right.
As well as spouses of deceased veterans.
Sure.
That want to give back to this Tri-City community.
Right. And it's necessary too, because unfortunately, a lot of the veterans who gave every ounce of their body and really got injured are not really being fully compensated for their service. And having an organization like you really helps.
Some, to the extent, never even received a simple thank you.
That's exactly right.
And we are in the process of trying to recoup some of that to make that right.
Well, and I did know this here because Katanga Wright told me about y'all, and this is my second time. I think we met for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Sure.
My second time meeting you, but anything I can help in that regards. Too many veterans are passing without even a thank you. A token of appreciation. So I'm so glad that you're doing something. So let's go to the slides now, and I'm going to read. You assist veterans in obtaining copies of their medical service treatment records. Speak a little bit about that.
Exactly. When a veteran files a claim, it is very important that the facts and the evidence be put forward.
Sure.
Medical records are just a form of that evidence. If a veteran makes an allegation or an accusation that they have a disability that incurred on active duty, then they should provide that evidence. So the medical records substitute for that evidence in most cases.
All righty. And it says you identify veterans who are in need of initiating VA disability claims and introducing such veterans to professional agencies to assist them in this regard. Speak about that.
Exactly. Too often the veteran don't quite know how to go about getting their benefits. And benefits means compensation and health care. Too often they don't know how to get through the rhetoric to get that.
Now explain, I know what you're talking about, compensation and health care, but explain to our viewing audience what you mean.
Compensation in a short term is just money.
That's exactly right.
And some veterans view that as a handout, a give out. Compensation is an entitlement.
Entitlement, that's exactly
Entitlement.
right.
Already served, already done. Again, freedom is never free.
That's exactly, it comes with a price.
Freedom is never free. And what we do is we try to get the veteran on the right avenue to get their compensation and their benefit. And we take them through a process. Too often veterans just file a claim haphazardly, but we advocate that a veteran file a fully developed claim, meaning that all the medical evidence is there and the law is there.
Right.
To ground their case, not just send an allegation or an accusation, but send facts.
Something substantiated.
Yes.
Now, I went for you because still, I run into a lot of veterans who don't know exactly what you said. So in other words, what you help them to do, and what I like what you're saying that you do, is that there are a lot of veterans that don't know how to, first of all, apply for their medical records.
Exactly. That is.
And here's the other thing. The second thing, and I'm going to tell you something else that they don't know, that they're having problems. I'm a nurse, and so I tell them, what were you having problems with in the military? And they tell me, I said, are you seeing a position for that?
Exactly. And most often they're not.
And most often they're not. And so that's where you come into letting them know all that they really need to do. I have here, you assist veterans in obtaining copies of medical records from private and medical sources. Let me just tell you what surprised me when I saw this on the slide, that I know you know how to send for the medical records, the military medical records, but the fact that you assist them in getting medical records from private is huge as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
That your organization is doing. Speak about that, please.
Well, the whole process starts on the third Friday of each month. We conduct a 2-hour workshop with veterans, and we start the education process for the route that they are about to take. And we spend about 2 hours with them. And after that, we schedule each one of them an individual appointment, a 1-hour appointment, and we sit down and we go over their unique case, all right, which medical records is most of it, is
Right.
most very important. When I say medical records, I'm talking about we seek out for them to get active duty medical records, VA medical records, and private doctor medical records.
Elaborate on that. Now, the military medical records, you can just get through their, are they still doing microfiche? Is that what they're doing? What are they
Well,
doing?
it's sort of upgraded.
They're upgraded. Says I'm an old soldier. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so you get, what is it called now? How do you
A
do?
disc.
You get their disc, and that will have their complete medical records.
Yes.
Okay, now, besides that, what else do they need to have?
Well, they need the VA medical records.
Okay.
And then they need the private doctor medical records.
Right,
But
right.
going back to the active duty medical records, what's so important, service connected for a disability must start and surround active duty.
Right.
So if there was an injury or illness that occurred on active duty, then after they leave active duty, they must show consistent treatment for that.
Right.
I.e., if they went to the doctor while on active duty 2 or 3 times for the back, and they got out of the Army, then they must show that they show the continuous treatment
Right.
for that back in the VA medical records and in the private doctor medical records. So a claim is well grounded when it happened on active duty and they're receiving treatment for it after active duty.
Right.
Some veterans get confused. Well, I went to the doctor 2 times on active duty for the back, and I've been 1 time with the VA doctor for back. That may or may not be enough. What VA wants to see is consistent treatment.
Okay. Now, suppose a person has elected not to go to the VA for treatment and has a consistent record of going to their private physician.
Good point. Not all veterans are eligible for health care through the VA.
That's correct.
So therefore, it's left with the private doctor.
Right. So as long as they have, it shows on their active duty military that they went on sick call for the
Yes.
condition. And after they got out of the military, they've been consistently being treated for that condition with their private doctor.
That would-
for that individual.
That would suffice. However, we do encourage veterans that are eligible for health care is to take that health care with the VA if they're eligible for it.
Okay, good.
But if not, a private doctor, will work as well.
Now, I'm really interested. Now, this is unique that you have a class, and it's every when?
Every third Friday at 10:45 at one of the two libraries, either the library here on Macon Road or the Mildred Terry Library down on Veteran Parkway.
You want to know something? I think that's awesome. I know you could very easily have them come in and do the work for them, which you all are very good doing. But education, the Bible
It's
says,
key.
The Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." That's
Yes.
scripture.
Yes.
And the fact that you are doing that extra step, to me, is crucial. We're going to take a break right now with Ms. McBride, and we're going to come back right on the other end of this commercial.
I volunteer.
Step up. I volunteer.
Cool. I volunteer.
We volunteer.
And I volunteer.
Hi, I'm Sally Goins, the volunteer coordinator here at Columbus Animal Care and Control, and we would love to have you come and help make a difference. If you're interested in volunteering, please call me at 706-225-4666 or email me at animalcontrol@columbusga.org.
Welcome back to All About Vets. Mr. McBride here. Mr. McBride, please look into that camera and give them your crucial, because you got some good information to give the vets. But look in there and let them know exactly how they can contact and find you.
If we could just go back a step.
Yeah, we can. Before we do, I would like for you to give them your information, and then we're going to go back.
Sure. My name is Hayward McBride, and I'm the chairman of the board of directors for Favor of West Georgia. Favor stands for Friends and Veterans on the Rise. We are located at 4589 Old Casita Road. Our phone number is 706-689-1138.
Very good. And you want to know something? I know you had some additional information to elaborate on, and so please let our audience know.
Again, we have about 48 members on a consistent basis, most of which are disabled veterans themselves.
Right.
These are veterans that want to give back to their community. They want to help other veterans. These are spouses of deceased veterans that want to help veterans and spouses.
Sure.
We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Last year, it took us $29,000 to operate, most of which we donated ourselves, and we took up donation from anybody that wanted to give. But the majority of it was donated by the members of the group.
That is very good. And that goes to show you that your organization really has the interests of veterans at heart, not looking for anything, but just to give back.
Just to give back.
Just to give
clearly
back.
give back. And we do some other things as well, which will probably come up. We also are interested in the needy citizens of this community. We have several programs to assist family members and just needy people in general. For example, we partnership with the Valley Rescue Mission, and we feed once a quarter, and we serve 3 times a quarter. When I say feed, that means that we go out, we shop for the food, we purchase it, we prepare it, we cook it, we transport it, we serve it, and most importantly, we fellowship with who we're feeding.
I think that's awesome. And this has nothing to do with your core mission in the military. This is just needy people in the community.
Needy people
in the community
that just need some assistance.
I think that's awesome. And later on in the program, and the reason I have you give your information, because at the end of the program, I'm going to want you to say if there's anyone who wants to help.
Sure.
Because we can't say money, but anyone who wants to help us in our mission, and then give them your information again.
Exactly.
I'm blown out the water. I'll be honest with you. This is my second time meeting you, but the first time really getting information about you and your program. And on the tail end of the program, I'm going to ask you just to tell our viewing audience how the Lord pricked your heart to do something like this here. I want to save that for later on. Let's go to the next slide. It says, provide information to assist veterans in seeking and acquiring available housing for homeless veterans.
Sure. Homeless veteran is one of our highest priorities. And we have folks that are in the VA agency and in the private sector that can assist that homeless veteran in obtaining adequate quarter. When we talked about compensation, when we talked about benefits, quality housing is also one of our
That is exactly right.
and we basically lead the veteran to solving the issue with not having a house.
In other
And
words,
VA
you're embracing and help that veteran to work towards correcting his or her situation.
Yes, and that may mean just merely getting a veteran and their family and just driving them to a VA facility and introducing them to someone that controls the pencil, and it's solved. Too often there's procedures there to get the veteran problem solved. The veteran just don't know how to
go,
do
don't know the steps to take.
And then the other thing, sir, sometimes they are not motivated due to one reason or another.
And you want to know something? And I'm glad you're speaking on that, because one of the things that we learn in nursing school is not to be judgmental.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you're approaching it not to be judgmental, solely to help the veteran.
Yes. You know, some veterans lose their interest and drive
I understand.
because of a previous system.
Sure.
I must say that things are not all solved yet, but it's getting a lot better. We are getting better with solving veterans' issues. A lot better than what we have.
But you want to, and that's just because you all have been consistent. And the one thing that my grandmother used to say is age brings genius. Not that you get more synapses or gray matter, but you learn.
Yes.
Life is a learning process. And just through trying to help veterans, you all have, and struggling, and learning to turn this way when you should have turned that way, this way, you've learned how to help people.
Yes.
And so that's important. That's extremely important.
I am truly blessed to have 48 members that have that exact attitude, and they are very passionate about it. I mean, some of the things that they do are just amazing. And I can just tell you one that
Please.
That just touches my heart dearly. 100% service-connected veteran that was total and permanent. Prior to Favor getting involved, they were not being allowed the right of tax. Okay, they were.
What?
It was wrong. They 100% vet was not getting the right tax credit. So we approached the right folks about
Sure.
it and presented our case.
Sure.
And it's very instrumental into why veterans today that are 100% and permanent and total are getting the proper tax credit.
And that's crucial, because that affects every day.
Every day.
And as you speak to this point here, I'd like to just to emphasize to our viewing audience just how important something like that is. The majority of the veterans that you see, I know that you see many of them who are young, and you see many of them who are seniors.
Yes.
I find many senior veterans who are on Social Security who are not being compensated, and I'm glad you used that term, because compensation is not a handout.
No, it's not.
Not receiving the compensation they receive. And when you're a senior, and if you have less money than the end of the month, you got problems.
Yes.
Huge problems to try to maintain a roof over your head, food in your mouth.
Yes.
And so, you're blowing me out the water, because I do know from Katanga, and I do know that because you have such a good attorney like Katanga Wright,
Exactly.
for legal problems,
Yes.
she can handle them.
Yes, she can.
And so I'd like for you just to take a little moment and just speak about that, because there are a lot of legal hurdles that a lot of veterans don't even know that they even have even.
They don't. Veterans have a choice with hiring somebody to assist them, either in getting health care or any issues that they have. And they can choose that attorney or that claim agent from what's called an e-benefit account. In other words, on that e-benefit account, it will list all of the certified VA attorney, and the veteran can go right on there and choose one. And what we advocate to the veteran is to go and interview the attorney.
That's exactly right.
And figure out what is best for you. And we have found that the Right Legal Group has done an outstanding
Standing job.
I could go on and on and on.
And I'm glad that you mentioned it because I have, and this has a connection with you, but I have talked to a number of veterans who have surmounted legal obstacles.
Yeah, sometimes it calls for
I mean, huge legal obstacles. And you want to know something? And sometimes it costs, but they benefited in the long run.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. They have benefited in the long run, and that's huge. And to emphasize what the many points, and we're going to do a summation because what you're telling me, I know is really news to a lot of our viewers.
Yes.
And what hurts me is that I have bumped into a number of homeless veterans, a lot of who have a myriad number of problems. A lot of these younger vets who are going through these multiple deployments.
Yes.
And who are suffering from serious PTSD.
Yes.
Which it does leave you confused. It does leave you disoriented. It does give you highs and lows. It does make you depressed and prone to suicidal ideations and whatever. Yeah. And who are out on the street, penniless, homeless, and in deep despair and depression.
Yes.
And a lot of it is attributable to their military service. And so an organization like yours is really a godsend to them. And I'm going to tell you something else. It's a godsend to me to be able to have you let the veterans and the people know if they have a loved one, call Favor.
Yes.
Because Favor will be there because we are disabled veterans.
Yes.
And we will lock arms with you and
Yes.
get you well, get you a roof over your head, food and whatever.
Exactly.
And that's, to me, is just awesome.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
You know, the key thing is these are disabled veterans themselves, and they're interested in making the quality of life for veterans a little bit better.
Right. And something I want you to talk about because it's huge, and I'm bringing this up for our viewing audience. A lot of the VA benefits up until about 10 or 15 years ago completely overlooked specific female disabilities of military service.
Which is quite different than regular veterans.
Which is quite different, and I'd like for you to speak about that because when that occurred to me, and in the past I've had to help some of the females because the VA system were just not cognizant of the physical problems that female veterans, active duty, go through during their military service that hamper them and plague them throughout their lifetime. So I'd like for you to speak about that.
And thank you so much for asking me that question. A female veteran and a Vietnam veteran is our top priority, along with the homeless veteran. But let me just talk about the female veteran. I served 22 years in the Army as an 11 Bravo infantryman. And out of that 22 years, there was never no woman that walked up to me, tried to kiss me or touch me,
Right.
or assaulted me sexually or tried to rape me. Never happened in my 22 years. However, I would venture to say that every female veteran may or may not have been exposed to such.
And we're hearing things like this in the news now.
Yeah, and some of this stuff that happened back then still is having an effect right now.
That is exactly right.
Mental health
The mental
drives physical health.
That's
Physical
exactly right.
health drives mental health.
They're coexisting.
Some of them are still struggling with some of the things,
The trauma.
the trauma. I recall about 2 years ago talking to a female vet, told me that she was deployed to Iraq 3 times. On the last time, she was raped. She was married when she left the state. She came home. She was pregnant, and she did not tell her husband. She chose to abort the child. Somehow the husband found out. They divorced.
That's sad.
Well, it culminated, and she's attempted 6 suicides.
That's horrible.
And we were able to intercept her, get her to a military sexual trauma coordinator, which the VA has, and she's still going through the treatment right now and doing well. But there's many stories out there that surrounds that female veteran. The other area is that Vietnam veteran. Many years ago, they didn't get a thank you. But it has its uniqueness because there are some presumptive illnesses from Vietnam. If they were stationed in Vietnam, they may have been exposed to what's called Agent Orange. All right, and that carries presumptive
illnesses, which I'm glad that the VA is recognizing now.
Finally.
Recognizing now. We're going to take a break. That is such a touching story that you gave on a female veteran that a lot of people can really associate with and really know that an organization like yours, and bless you for things. We're going to hit on what prompted you to do this here because I'm really, really, really thankful for you and your organization. And we're going to take a slight break, and we'll be back with Mr. McBride on the other end of this commercial.
Man, I wish the city would fix these darn potholes. Someone needs to report this.
Has this ever happened to you and you didn't know who to call? It's simple. Dial 311 or 706-653-4000. Columbus 311 Citizen Service Center. Our goal is to provide complete, accurate, and timely information to citizens and employees regarding complaints, inquiries, and requests for information. Columbus 311 Citizen Service Center, your direct link to city service.
Welcome back to All About Vets. I'm blown out the water with all the disorder. Now, I did have an inkling of what they were doing, but not to the extent that they're doing. So, Mr. McBride, please look in that camera right there and give them all your contact and where they can contact you if they want to help.
Sure. My name is Hayward McBride, and I'm the chairman of the board of directors for Favor of West Georgia. Favor is Friends and Veterans on the Rise. We are located at 4589 Old Casita Road. Our phone number is 706-689-1138. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that assists veterans and spouses of deceased veterans. If you or anybody want to help toward the cause, you are certainly welcome. And we can be reached at that address and phone number. Whatever you think you can add or help us to the cause, we would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, let's go to this next thing. It says provide condolences and bereavement support to families of deceased veterans and to assist them in any matters arising from the death of such veteran as it affects the benefits and entitlements to which the deceased veteran's family is entitled under applicable law. That is huge.
Yes, Pastor, I visited a church last night.
I appreciate. I wish the Lord did touch me to be a pastor, but I'm not. But I appreciate that compliment. No problem.
I visited a church last night, and we had a veteran workshop, and we talked to so many spouses of deceased veterans. And just to give you an example, we had a veteran die just last month. That once he died, the spouse no longer had his retirement check.
That's exactly right.
The spouse no longer had his VA compensation, and the spouse only had just the Social Security.
Which is not nearly enough.
Not near enough. 3/4 of the income for that family was lost. And there's several struggles that that spouse may encounter. What we try to do is become a support group for the spouse and try to do anything we can do to build up that compensation, to build up that headquarter and adequate housing. And we have some people in this community and some people, agencies that are ready to assist.
So this is a good community. I know you found that out.
Yes.
This is such a welcoming and supportive community here.
It is.
Now, all you have to do is just knock and let people know we need some help.
And just let them know, and they are eager to know. Eager to help.
Sure.
They just don't know that you need
that
to
you need the help.
We easily fix problems through other agencies. We do admit that we don't have enough staff to fix all the problems.
Sure.
We merely assist other local agencies in solving the problem.
But that's huge, though, because there's a lot of people who don't know how to go about doing that.
Yes.
And so you are huge. We're going to jump to this next line, and we're just going to briefly cover the individuals, four types of people that can legally do a service-connected disability claim. We're going to do that. We're going to run through that. But then I want to touch how you got started quickly, because we're running out of time.
Sure.
But what you said is so vital. So now the four types of people that can legally do a service-connected disability claim is yourself, the veteran, veteran service officer, certified claim agent, and a certified attorney.
Exactly. Too often the veterans are getting overpriced by illegal people that are not authorized
to do that.
to do a VA
Right.
disability claim.
And now I'm glad you quit, because there are a lot of people out there gouging veterans, charging them percentages
Yes.
of things that should not be doing it. And
Should
this
not
really
be doing it.
not be doing it. It's not legal.
Yes.
And I'm glad that when I saw this part of this, I'm so glad that you thought enough to bring this up, to let our viewing audiences know they are not legally, they cannot legally do what they're doing.
They cannot legally do what they're doing. The only folks that can legally charge by VA standards and law is a certified claim agent or certified attorney.
That's
Now, if the veteran don't want to go that route, they have veteran service officers here locally, and they don't charge anything.
No, and that's the key. They don't charge, and they do it just because they're veterans.
They do it because
Just
they're
because.
veterans.
Now, what I want you to do, tell me quickly, and tell my viewing audience, because let me tell you something. I'm going to shake your hand 1,000 times for what you're doing. Just briefly let our viewing audience know what prompted you to do it. What prompted you to start this fantastic organization?
Regardless of how I look, I'm a 100% disabled veteran with many health issues.
Sure.
I discovered all of that in 2008, that I was just going down. I had many, many problems, and I sought after my health care, and I sought after my compensation, and the system worked for me. I had many people to drive me through that. I had an issue, I still have an issue with high blood pressure.
Sure.
And that blood pressure was major. I was at a VA doctor, and the VA doctor said that I was walking a little bit with an imbalance. Sent me for an MRI, and they discovered a tumor inside of my brain.
See?
They conducted brain surgery, and they recovered the tumor. And I'm a lot better now.
And this has become a mission for you, for veterans.
Yes.
And, you know, I want you to look, because we're going to have to close. Look there again for another time. Tell them how to contact this fantastic organization, please.
If you have any issue as a veteran, or spouse of veteran, or a needy family, just please contact us at Favor, West Georgia, 4589 Old Casita Road. Our phone number is 706-689-1138. And we will find a way to assist you in fixing it. Just as the gentleman said, this community is great about helping, and they want to help. All they want from you is to come to them. We are the mechanism to get you to them to get it fixed.
And I want to thank you so very much for coming All About Vets. I don't want this to be your last time.
I hope it's not.
And I want to be involved.
Sir, I'm hearing you, and I really appreciate you
And
saying
call me
that.
Pop, please.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, from one vet to another. And he didn't even realize I was a veteran.
I did. I didn't. I was just
And he
astounded.
mistakenly, but Lord bless me, he thought I was a pastor.
Yeah.
Listen, please contact this organization that's helping a lot of veterans. And until next time, program All About Vets, please be kind to yourself, because God loves you.